Hello and welcome to the Theater of Memory. Time is such funny stuff. It appears to be flowing, as best we can tell, in just one direction. We live on the surface over untold archaeological layers, actually and metaphorically. Just for fun, let's plumb the so-called depths of antiquity. The Earth is 4,600 millions of years old, so we'd better get started. We'll jump in magnitudes of 10, so it won't become a snooze fest. 4.6 years ago, you can remember that, never mind. 10 times longer than that is 46 years ago, we had just lost a young, promising president, assassinated by magic bullets just 2 weeks after a speech at Columbia University in which he said he wasn't so sure Vietnam was a good idea for the US. These photos are photographers' proofs. Remember film? Taken in Georgetown a few years before by Orlando Suero, later published in a book called Camelot at Dawn. These were heady and tragic times. 460 years ago, a gentleman had recently received this letter, sort of still a medieval secretarial hand, from Claude de Lorraine, the Duc d'Aumale, speaking of military matters and telling the gentleman that he would try at court to get him compensation for his 2 sons recently killed in battle. It is dated 1549, which is, coincidentally, when court jesters were stylishly replaced all across Europe by dwarves and cripples. So much for speaking truth to power. 4,600 years ago, the Sumerians, living in what is present-day Iraq, were writing on clay tablets in a cuneiform or wedge-shaped script. This cuneiform tablet from that time was probably a business document of some kind. In spite of their remarkable systems of astronomy and agriculture, mathematics and law, only 2% of the 500,000 tablets found are literary in nature, but those are a wow. This one is not. 46,000 years ago saw the beginning of early modern Homo sapiens sapiens, or wise man, as we call ourselves. I'm Exhibit A. Wise man might be a bit smug and premature for fruit-eating primates in pinstripe suits who can't seem to get along. 460,000, this is taking too long. 4,600,000 years ago, a guy paleontologist called Ardi, or one of his near ancestors, was walking near the Awa River in what is present-day Ethiopia. So far, he's the oldest fossil hominid. This fossil, however, is from a creek in my backyard and what we would call immaterial evidence. Who'd trust me with a piece of Ardi? I can't even get a hold of a chunk of Lucy, and so must resort to flummery. 46 million years ago, this is taking too long. 460 million years ago, there is, as of yet, no life on land, even plants. But on the shallow sea shelves, the biggest and baddest animal to come along since the protozoan predators roamed the microbial mats are the trilobites. They are named for their 3 lobes, obvious in this exceptional fossil. They ruled the earth for over 200 million years. I said that in a program in Nashville one night, and a little voice in the back of the room says, "Does that mean they boss people around?" 4,600 millions of years ago, the Earth and solar system formed. It would be 1,000 million years before the first microscopic life, photosynthetic bacteria, appeared and fixed calcium from the water, forming reefs that looked like this, only live. They pumped out oxygen for nearly 3,000 million years that allowed air suckers like ourselves the luxury of aerobic activity like hunting, running away, and the polka. This is a highly underrated life form. They need better PR, maybe their own website or at least a Facebook page. This is a stromatolite. Here we are on the very surface. Time is unimaginably deep and magnitudes don't seem to make it any more accessible. So I made a chart. Let 1 inch equal 46 years since the grassy knoll and the magic bullet. Then 10 inches to the last of the court jesters in Europe and speaking truth to power. And then the next event is 100 inches down. The whole thing of Earth's history, the chart would be 1,578 miles long. Is not going to work, is it? Besides, the interesting thing is that whether you are looking at the 4.6 billion years of Earth or the 13.7 billion years of the universe, you are just looking at very, very long times, but finite. This time business should not be confused with an infinite eternity, which is no time, an endless, beginningless, absolutely still field in which all this hubbub and hustle-bustle takes place. Of course, the cool thing is that eternity did not wash us upon the shores of time and desert us. It's still here right now, and it underlies everything as stillness and silence. And it can only be accessed at the coordinates of here and now. It always underlies everything as we rush around in the there and then until something beautiful or truly awesome pulls us into the now so completely that it quiets us enough to match modes with the stillness. And past and future become irrelevant for that endless moment. I'm out of time. Theater of Memory. Bye.